everybody. Hey, it's me, it's Andy, Decade Andy. Am I working? Am I running? I am. Good. Hey, welcome. Pre-showing for Moon Poop 2. We're going to be pooping about some Transformers as per usual. Need to make sure I've got all my gear, not as in drugs, but as in music and other doodads. There it is. There's my music. Excellent. Need to get that set up first before, rocking with the show. Oh, I tell you what we could do pre-show. I'll turn off the screen and I'll put on a YouTube video, Transformers related, that I saw this week, which I was like, that's pretty funny. That's pretty nice. You might have seen it, you might not have, but we can play it, and I can give credit to the person who made the video, etc., etc. There it is. Because I thought it was pretty neat. No, stop. You were too loud anyway. Okay, yeah, we'll play this little video. It's called Low IQ Takeover from Maycoon. Mycoon? Me-coon? You coon. Yeah, we'll just roll this for the moment, because it's pretty fun. I likes it anyway.
You are either lying or you're stupid. I'm stupid.
Look how fun this is. So much good animation. They've done one other very brief Transformers one.
Why don't you go build a bridge and jump over?
Yeah, I really like this cute kind of chibi animation for the Transformers. And taking some of the dumb stuff from, good old G1 episode.
Sure. Right after I settle this.
Is this episode called Takeover? It must be, right? This is why it's the low IQ version. The little Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah, it's great. I really hope this person does way more. I really want more of this. I love it. I love it so much. It's great. Really good bits of comedy, real random bits of cute animation in there, and the faces with the mouth full of teeth give me a lot of Kiss Player Megatron vibes, but without the Megatron penis tongue, thankfully. Look at him dance! Ah! And look at cute Astro Train. Now he's less cute. Less cute. I don't remember Astro Train's face being blown off, unfortunately.
Megatron. Starscream's the real traitor. Why not? Are they too close to the truth?
The only problem with it is it's them trying to remove the music from the audio track, which is really hard to do because in G1 there was just so much like audio going on all the time. Best bit coming up. Female. So if you wanna go check them out, here they are. Maycoon, YouTube. Like I say, they haven't done too much Transformers. They've only done 2 so far. But clearly they do a lot of fun videos. I say go look at them. Damn, they started 2 years ago? Sheesh. The problem, I guess that's the issue with animation, right? Animation takes fucking forever to do on your own. So yeah, I mean, even this, it's probably a combination of, do I have the time to animate? What do I animate? And when do I put it up? These guys are, yeah, they're good. They're on Twitter as well. You can find them on Twitter or X, whatever you like to call your floaty little platform. They're there if you want. Should we get pooping? I guess we could get pooping. There's not a lot of news this week. A huge shock, Mentioned it in the description, but let's get some music rolling. Yeah, this I don't know how long this will be, but we'll roll this ball. Where's my music? There it is. Okay, roll the music.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decade Andy, sitting here on the moon with my little Potato Prime. Hello, Potato Prime. How are you doing today? If I could select him. It's just like, I want to click. Oh, because he's not accessible. He's part of the desk. That's right. He's not a separate asset. Damn it. I was going to have him hop along. I was going to pick him up and move him around the desk. I could just do it with my entire desk. Ah! Mess that all up. There we go. Ruin my set just to try and make my little Potato Prime dance. It looks better on stream. If you just hear in the audio version, I promise. Little Optimus Prime on my desk was really jamming. Really setting the scene for today's episode because there's not a lot to talk about. There's a few little bits, but not a huge amount. Dr. Wu has been pooping out some new figures or repaints of figures. I think the yeah. Okay, we'll start with this one first. We'll start with the Dr. Wu DW-E25 and E26. One's microscope and one's grapple. However, it is green grapple for some bizarre reason. Is it because the other side? Yeah, the other side. Okay, so I see. Okay, well, I'll get into it. These are the Micromaster scale stuff. So if you're into the Micromaster scale, Dr. Wu, this is the 2-pack for you. We have normal colored Preceptor and green grapple, as mentioned before. Little tiny Preceptor. How have they done for him? He looks pretty decent. He's posable, as most of Dr. Wu's Micromaster stuff is. He, seems to transform fairly easily into his microscope mode and the weird, crappy, quote-unquote tank mode that he has. And I guess is obligatory now that they have to have it for the most part. Is he a little squished? Yeah, I suppose if I wanted to be a little bit critical, he's a little bit smushed, as are most of the Micromasters. And he does suffer from, let's call it the Dr. Wu Micromaster face, where they all have the slightly same expression, slightly large nose and a mouth very close to said nose and a very slight gap in between those lips. But it's fine, right? It's okay. It's not that bad. And green grapple, he has his green claw hand, which seems like he can put on either arm, depending on if you want him to be clawed left-handed or clawed right-handed. He turns into his green pickup hook vehicle, grappling vehicle. Wow, there are way less shots of grapple than there are Preceptor. It seems like that's it. The green one and Preceptor. Well, they also decided to do the DW E27 and E28, which are Black Mirror, which is the E-Hobby version of Preceptor where he's black, the Magnificus version, if you would, and Crane Hook, which is real grapple. So what's green grapple called? He's just called... Oh, he's called Hauler. My apologies, I didn't read. Yeah, so if you want the normal colored versions of both Preceptor and Grapple, Micromaster scale from Dr. Wu, you're going to have to buy both of these packs. Bit of a devious, sneaky idea, but business-wise, kind of smart. If you want the right Preceptor. If you don't care about getting the exact right colors, then you'll pick up the one that you want the most, I suppose. So if you're like, I don't really care if my grapple's orange, but I want Preceptor to be red, the Preceptor, the Magnificus, I should say, has the toy head, so he's got the grill over his mouth. Otherwise, it is the same figure, as far as I can tell, with obviously different paint and all that jazz. Is the grapple different from Hauler? That's a good question, Andy. They look the same. Yeah, I don't see any mold differences between those. They've also plopped grapple down on a table to be examined, I suppose, by Magnificus. Was Magnificus a doctor? A surgeon of some description? I don't know. A few more shots of grapple here, but yeah, both of them. If you're interested, you'll either get one. If you want the original colors for both, you get both. If you like them, I guess you get both again. The Micromaster scale's not for me. I think I prefer more Legends scale to Deluxe. That's kind of like the only time that I get into the I don't really like this is like Masterpiece scale. That's a little bit too big for Andy's fun factor. But Micromasters, I mean, this is the niche market because I don't think any other third-party company is doing like Micromaster scaled just Transformers, right? I don't think so. I think this is a Doctor Wu exclusive. I guess we could wrap it up into that if we really wanted to. Speaking of the Legend scale, Magic Square, which is not my favorite of the Legend scalers from the third party, but they are a very well respected one. They're doing the Legend scale G1 Grimlock, and they're also doing a G1 Sludge. I think there might be another one, but TFW didn't report on it. I think these are up on sale on Shozy, not sponsored by the way, obviously. The third party, the Legend scale, we've got CADs. We don't have prototypes so far. So yeah, Grimlock, I guess. Cartoon looking version versus toy, I suppose. Yeah, I'd reasonably comfortably say that that's the case. Oh, yeah, okay. Then we've got the promo image of Grimlock, Sludge, and Slag. Slag is probably the other one that TFW haven't reported on. Or at least they haven't front paged it. Excuse me, that was my dinner. But yeah, we don't know what accessories Grimlock's going to come with. I mean, the assumption is he'll either come with a sword or a gun. Hopefully, being third party, he'll come with both. That's the dream that Hasbro can't fulfill unless they upscale a price for you. I don't know if he'll have changeable eyes. I mentioned this because on the CAD model for the dinosaur mode, there is a distinct line around the head, so it might have the masterpiece gimmick where you can flip up the head and change the eye color for the Dinobot mode. That'd be all right. It's not a big deal. He is not hollow. His inner legs are all kind of covered up nicely, which you would expect from a third-party toy. And these, I suppose, are coming not on the heels of the New Age ones, because New Age's Dinobots have been out for a while, right? But it feels like, okay, New Age have done theirs. They've had their recolors all out. Now it's Magic Square's time to do their version of the figures. So if you were waiting for the Magic Square version, because you're like, I don't like New Age, well, Magic Square's doing theirs. Are they going to do them in multiple colors? I don't know. I can't remember if... I don't think Magic Square go in... They don't go too hard in for recolors. They're not like New Age, where New Age will fart out as many different, repaints as they can for a set. The Dinobots might just be Dinobots and then maybe G2. I don't think you're going to get the New Age version, which is Dinobots, metallic Dinobots, Diaclone Dinobots, G2 Dinobots, Shattered Glass Dinobots. I think that's not hyperbolic. I think that's all of the ones that New Age did, right? I don't think they did any others. I think 5 is enough. Yeah, so Magic Square, maybe they'll do a G2 version. I don't know. If they do a G2 version, will I be interested? Maybe. I've never tried Magic Square before. I'm not sure. Are the Dinobots ones I really want to invest in as like a taster? No, probably not. I don't think the Dinobots would be for me to taste test, I suppose. As mentioned before, the other one is Sludge. Two images of Sludge. Sludge mode, again, looks animation-y rather than toy-y. Maybe his eyes will be changeable as well. A little harder to tell on this one, but he's not going to be doing a huge amount of posing. Looking at his, his Dinobot mode, his little stubby legs and whatnot aren't going to be doing a huge amount. But the robot mode is, again, kind of what you would expect. I mean, we've seen enough third-party Dinobots and third-party G1 styled Dinobots to kind of know what we're getting, what they're going to generally look like, and, all that kind of jazz and what they're kind of aiming for. It's like, yeah, here be the Dinobots, at least, 2 of them at the moment. We know the third one's coming as well. And then after that, obviously, the last 2. Now, will they do paddles? I doubt it. Will they do Slash? I doubt it. Will they do any of the movie Dinobots and try and G1ify them? I doubt it as well. This is probably just the exclusive G1 cast Dinobots. But there you go. They'll be coming if you're so inclined. Oh yeah, I grabbed this because I thought this was weird news. Transformers Autobots versus Decepticon Wall Clock by Bradford Exchange, who I'm sure is a company. It is a company. Bradford Exchange website. What are the... Before we go into the story, let's see. Over 50 years of innovations and artistry and designs and alluring value. Okay, so it seems like it's not. Oh God, the creepy. Be happy you can't see both of these creepy babies, chat. It seems like they just do things. They've got watches. They've got a little Protector of the Realm bronzed dragon statue. They've got a little red arrow 60th display. That's quite cute. Little wow, that's not £100 cute. Little owl on a half moon. What if I put Transformers into the main website? Transformers. Will it take us to the clock? I wonder. I'm interested. Transformers. We have a Disney thing. Wolf Song, Dreamcatchers? Jesus. We've got an Elvis hoodie when I typed in Transformers. A little tiny collectible cottage. I'm not sure why I'm saying it like that. My gran and granddad have stuff like that, so I shouldn't be too pokey. Transformers. Star Wars original trilogy proof collection. What's a proof collection? This looks like a fucking coin. Is that not just a coin? Look at his face. Look at his face. Oh, Luke, you little weirdo. Yeah, I've never heard of a proof. Each proof is plated. I don't know what it means by proof. Must just mean coin. Coin-like thing. Either way, they're doing a Transformers clock. A wall clock, by the by. Fancy clock, somewhat. It's going to feature Optimus Prime, Megatron, Bumblebee, Starscream, Soundwave, and Grimlock because they're the only important characters in Transformers for marketing purposes, of course. It's also going to have a Matrix theme base, and the Autobot Decepticon pendulum. So the pendulum, a little thing that ticks back and forth that goes. That bit, that's going to be just an Autobot insignia, which is weird. Pre-orders are apparently up, even though when I searched Transformers, I didn't find it. It's going to go for $200 US. It's going to be out in April of this year. Let's have a look at the clock. The clock. I don't know if these are real, if these are CG, to be honest. Might be CG images. I don't know about the face sculpt on Megatron and Starscream especially. Does it look like Starscream has a mustache? Right there. I'm sure it doesn't, but the way the photo's been taken for one of the slightly closer up images, it's like he has like a Tom Selleck mustache. Starscream, specifically. And it looks a bit... Grimlock's head looks a little bit strange as well. Almost like it's made out of tinfoil and it's been sat on just a little bit. Not a huge amount. Just a little bit. And Bumblebee looks... actually, the Bumblebee face kind of reminds me of the Gormless Bumblebee face from the High Moon games, right? Do you remember when Bumblebee got shot in what was it, Fall of Cybertron by Megatron right at the start? Spoilers for the start of the game. And he's got no emotion on his face at all after being shot. He's just like, brr. That's the same expression this Bumblebee has. It's very similar, at least. The actual clock itself, I don't know my clocks desperately well, but this looks a little bit tacky, and I don't know whether it's because it's Transformers, and I don't think it lends itself to it. Excuse me, but I've got a better example of it's not a wall clock, but a clock that I had, or still have, and have had for a while. It's this. I got this many years ago. It's the Looney Tune Gang on Mantle Character Clock from Warner Brothers Studio Store. This was something I got like 5 billion years ago when the Warner Brothers store... 1994. There you go. Awesome and extremely rare. This I didn't know it's extremely rare. This clock has been retired since 1994. Many clocks listed have damaged either the clock or the characters. But not this one. I think mine might be a little damaged, but I'm not sure. I sold it for $108, which is probably more than mine. I don't even know if my internal clock works. But I don't know. You look at this. I think this works better for the Looney Tunes than for Transformers, Transformers, I don't think, lends itself desperately well to this kind of random paraphernalia. Looney Tunes, a little bit more, I would say. A little bit more. Not bad little clock. I'm going to have to see if mine is broken. I think either the gun for Yosemite Sam or a Bugs Bunny ear was damaged, but I'm not sure. Might have been re-glued. The clock probably doesn't work. The clock's probably buggered. I told you it wasn't much news today. eHobby doing an exclusive new official Transformers Superlink and Galaxy Force acrylic stand logos. These obviously don't go along with the the HasLab figure, but I guess if you're like, hey, I love me some acrylics. I want to put these on the front of my shelf as a little display and have my Micron Legends or my which was it? No, not Micron Legends. My Superlink or my Galaxy Force shelf. I can shove these on the front of them and it'd be nice. There seems to be two sizes. There is the 108 millimeter by 62 millimeter one, or there's the 48 millimeter one by 30 millimeter one. Same for the Galaxy Force one. Actually, that's 160 by 66 or 72 by 32 for width and height, all that jazz. Not anything super fancy or anything like that, but again, if you have a nice display and you have a minor amount of room where you can actually add like just a little symbol, I guess this would do. You could throw this on in the front of them and be like I said, just here's the Galaxy Force shelf. And it's like, oh, well, that's nice. That's quite cute. Maybe you've got a big house and you can do that kind of thing. For those wondering, the Matrix Blade accessory has been unlocked. For the backers, they've got enough backers now that the Matrix Blade is definitely coming. As I mentioned before, I think most people are going to struggle finding a way to store the sword if they're not just going to leave it in the box. I mean, like, put this on on the figure on the shelf. I think it's going to suffer issues just because it is 23.5 inches tall. I don't know many shelves that are that tall unless you just plop them on the top of your display case. That's going to solve a lot of issues. Your problem, not me problem, but hey-ho. Matrix Blade, that's good. I can't remember what the next goal is. If you want to, okay. Let's check the next goal. Get out of here. I don't want to do that stuff. Next stretch goal. Where will it say? Yeah, I guess I just have to go down, right? Show me the stretch goals, baby. Yeah, okay, so they need like 3,000 more people. Actually, we need 16,000 for the road. And currently they have... okay. They've got 14,011, so they only need like 2,000 more people and you get your road stand. All right. And that's it. So once they've hit this, they're either going to have to make some new ones or, I don't know, you're done. Again, we're waiting for the little tie figure. But there you go. Okay, it's great. You're almost there with the second part. It's almost fully super duper funded. So if you want to get in, you've got 25 days left, just under a month, basically. And you can still get your Omega Optimus Prime. That's pretty cool, if you're inclined. And now we're already on to the guests. We've barely been streaming, or barely been recording a show, but hey, like I said, not a lot to go through this week. In attendance for TFCon, we have Arthur Bergendert. If I said that right. Voice actor for Devastator, and more importantly, voice actor for Destro in the original series. And he's going to be joined by Hal Ryle, if I said that right, voice of Snarl and Shrapnel for G1 as well. So again, this is at TFCon, Los Angeles, March 8th to the 10th, 2024, somewhere in Los Angeles. A place there, which probably they've been to many times before. That's cool. If you want to go and say hey to them, you're more than welcome to. I'm sure they'll be happy to sign bits and things and doodads and other hoo-ha, as they say. But yeah, that's literally the news, Chad. There is, it's February. We've had the interesting stuff, and now there's just not much. I mean, there was like behind the scenes for the Silverbolt figure for Legacy, so we got a few more images of finished Silverbolt, Legacy Silverbolt. I think he looks okay. I think he looks a bit awkward in some places. Like the arms look a bit weird. Like there's a shot of him with his little feather spear overhead, which the arm particularly looks a bit strange there. Just the positioning of everything. Hey, Simon Tang. Simon Tang asks, "What do you think of the Silverbolt?" I think it's okay. I don't think it's bad, but I think the figure has some issues of looking awkward in specific angles. Like, again, he's doing a flying kick here. Not Simon Tang, Silverbolt. I don't know if Simon Tang does flying kicks. But there's just, again, I think it's the way that the shoulders sit on the robot mode. They look a bit strange. A little bit on the weird thing. Again, the head looks in certain angles slightly weird. Like, if you look at it straight on, it's fine. If you look at it from a slightly lower angle, there's something where it's almost uncanny valley about it. It's not bad. It's just slightly off. The waist joint is kind of ugly as well. I don't know how you'd fix that just because of Silverbot's design. But it's got a big hard cut in it, and it seems like his legs are. The whole hip area is a bit on the weird side. Again, a lot of this figure it looks a bit weird in certain angles. Again, those arms just look odd. I don't think it's bad. I mean, I won't know it's bad until people get it in hand and start playing with it and having a touch to see if it is a good quality figure and is a fun transformation. I think the winged tiger wolf burb thing. Again, if you look down at it from the top while it's in a flying pose, looks okay. On more of a, if you're looking at the ground level, like his back legs look a bit on the strange side. And at least in the angle here on the photo that's classed as SB008, you look at the TFW website, he looks almost a little bit smushed. Like they've squeezed him down just a little bit, so he's a little bit shorter than he should be. But again, these could be just the angles of the photo, etc., etc. In hand, he might look a lot better. Simon says, very blocky comparing to the original. Not sure if I want to buy this. If you're not sure, Simon, I'd always recommend at this point in time getting Transformers on a sale. But everybody should know that about me for now. Let's actually, hang on. Let's do some diving, right? Let's do some diving and find a gallery for Silverbolt. Transformers. Oh no, just put in Beast Wars. Why am I putting in Transformers Beast Wars? Silverbolt toy. Hopefully it won't give me the legacy one. Let's have a little compare. Is there like a proper gallery instead of just like pooping out a thing? That's reviewable. Maybe Ben's World will have multiple images. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Boop. Okay. And okay, get the winged wolf mode or the wolf bird mode. Like that. That's a fairly close comparison. The heads, they look similar. Oddly enough, actually, looking at the original one, the ears are swept back, so it looks a bit more like it's the original toy's in a more aggressive like pose for the wolf's head, compared to the current wolf head, which is, I guess, a bit more relaxed. Yeah, it just looks more like a just happy dog boy, right? Like, yeah, look at this. He's got more of a happy grin to him. The little ears are poking up. He's got a bit more of a happy expression. The original toy, he's angry. He's in a beast war. He's going for blub. You have any better images of the robot mode? Oh, and more images of the doggo mode. I mean, obviously the original toy fails clearly on the articulation. The wings. What do we think about the wings? The wings might be painted a little bit nicer on the original. Mainly because the wings on the new one, they've got paint on, because the wings are in two parts, right? Because you can fold the wings in. They've got the paint on the spear and then on one part of the wing, but not all of the wing. The wings are missing out on color to them, unfortunately, and they are a little bit hollow on the inside. I don't mind the hollowness. It's a big ugly, but fine. The paint not continuing all the way down the wings, that's a bit of a shame to notice. Does he have anything on his bum? The original, is that painted white? That might be painted white, so that's okay. Oops. Yeah, the paint's generally about the same then, I guess, for the bird dog mode. All right, the OG toy. The OG toy. Let's get an image of the robot mode so we can compare them. What's the best one to go for? Probably this one, right? The one with black arachnia. The wings look a lot better on the new toy. instead of just sitting on his shoulders in a flight mode, they can actually go behind his back where they should be. But Simon mentioned very blocky compared to the original. I think you might be right, Simon, to be fair. The waist looks better on the original. It's not quite as, again, blocky like you said. And the way that the shoulders come together for the robot mode looks a little bit nicer. And the head might be a little bit better on the original toy. It's hard to say. But the new one definitely wins out on how the wings work. 100% works better on that aspect alone, at the very least. Let's have a look at the OG head. Now there's more painted on the newer head because he's got the full raccoon mask that was painted on both of them. The eyes are different, aren't they? He's got more greeny eyes on this newer version versus the yellow eyes. Would you say the original face has a bit more of a like angry badger look to him? Maybe. I think you could say maybe the new one has a bit more of a better, more accurate face. But there's something a little bit more cute about this one. Yeah, maybe he looks a bit more like an angry raccoon. Like if Rocket Raccoon was a Transformer, he'd probably be Silverbolt if he was obviously merged with a bird as well. So there are some aspects I do think are better on the original than the new one. I don't know if I want to say that the original is. Oh, sorry, the new one is just out now better. It definitely has more joints. It's got ankle joints, so it can do more stuff there. It's got wrist articulation. It's got a double jointed elbow. Technically, the original one had double elbows as well. The new one has nicer swivel for the biceps, so it can actually swivel correctly rather than having the swivel be on the ball joint elbow joint. You know. I don't know. The original doesn't have a waist joint either, so that's another thing. So, yeah. There are ups and downs, I suppose. I've never had the original Silver Ball. I'd like to get one. I've not seen one for a decent price on eBay before, which is maybe a little bit of a problem. I mean, it's a problem for me. It's not a problem really for anybody else, realistically. But I think that's all the news. To be honest, Jam. I'm trying to think if there's anything like really interesting that I didn't talk about. I mean, there's a 3-page preview for issue 6 of Skybound comic. But I'm not really into Skybound, so it looks edgy. Sorry, it still looks edgy. Got no speech bubbles in. Yeah, I don't know. I hear some people like it. Someone messaged me on Twitter today over the Moonbase 2 account. Thank you. It's always nice to have comments and stuff. It's nice to know that I'm not speaking into the void and people are listening and getting something out of the show. And they were agreeing that they were not really into the Skybound stuff, and they were going back to read IDW1. As they said that everything, I think that they might have said, I might be misremembering, that everything in IDW1 was better than the Skybound comic. I haven't replied yet, but I plan to reply later on with, well, not everything, because there was the Bumblebee mini, which was shit. There was Megatron Origins, which was pretty shit. What else was there that was pretty shit? The International Incident, I think they were called. I was actually thinking while having a poo, is All Hail Megatron, for me, better than what Skybound's done so far? And I think it was a little bit too close to tell, which isn't good, because All Hail Megatron, although fairly pretty, had a lot of issues to it. It's been a while since I've read it, but I remember having issue with those comics. You know, I remember having some little poo boy problems as I read that. Not as bad as the International Incident, or when they decided to make the Transformers look like scary monsters from the Michael Bay stuff. None of that, at least. So the only other thing I can really talk about Transformers wise is I got the Iron Factory. What's his proper name? Kill Bison. They don't have the stupid name of the figure, because his name's not Kill Bison, is it? It's something. What's his name? Hang on, I've got his instructions down here. The Hammer of Morax. What a stupid name. The Hammer of Morax, not the big one, the small one. So we'll go through some of these images so you can have a look at it. These aren't from me. Obviously, these are on Showsy. But I can give you my impressions of the figure. I like it, but there are a few points I wish the toy did. Specifically, I wish there were more points to peg into. For instance, what's a good example? Oh, on the back of the tank mode, you see this gray panel to cover up stuff. That doesn't really peg into anything. It just kind of sits down. It is on a tight joint, but it doesn't really. Again, I'd like it to peg into something. Just have a good lock to stop it from moving around, doing all that kind of stuff. But the tank mode's quite nice. It doesn't have any wheels on the bottom, which is a bit of a shame. I'd like to. I don't expect it to have treads, moving treads. I don't expect that for a Legends class figure. But I'd like it just to have little pair of wheels just to, just to roll it around instead of going, oh, I'm taking paint off the figure. None of that. We have an image of the back of the figure. This is where a lot of the issues I have come from. The gun on his back doesn't, again, peg into anything. The entire back part will unpeg, so you can fold the head into the chest, and then you push the backpack up and kind of encapsulate the head. The back doesn't really peg into anything desperately hard. There's no like hard peg and port or clip or anything like that. And I kind of wish there was, so you push the back and it clip in. He's got a butt flap, which again doesn't really peg into anything, which is a bit of an issue. On the back of his legs, you use the treads to help basically give him a heel spur, which is fine. I don't mind that. The main issue comes with the way that the treads transform. So if you're looking at the image, if you're looking at the back of Kill Bison, what you do is the treads are attached to the outside of the shin. Yeah, the outside of the shin, connected on a hinge ball peg. So there's a ball peg that connects to the actual tread, and the hinge part connects to the orange shin. It can be a little bit awkward to turn this round. You got to kind of 180 this up and peg this part of the the treads into the back of the shin. That's fine. It's a little fiddly, but you can do it. The main problem comes from this whole part on the side of the shin. You've got to spin all of this around, and I don't see there is a way to do it without banging into either the tops of his knees or the bottom around his ankles. The parts on the side of his shins, no matter what I do, always seem to be clattering and either denting or taking a bit of paint off the side of his legs. I don't know how you do it. I've looked at the instructions. There weren't many YouTube videos to show me how to do it either, so I've only transformed him once, but it was a bit of a scary experience. Everything else on him was okay. That was the worst part. Something the instructions don't tell you. It just says when you push the legs together and then you push them up so the thighs go into the into the shins, kind of standard Transformer stuff. What it doesn't tell you on the instructions is you have to unpeg the knees. You unpeg the knees and you pull them forward because they're on little hinges. Excuse me, and then you can push like the thighs down into the shins. I did watch a video, thankfully, that mentioned obviously if you don't do that and you just force the thighs into the shins, you will break the pegs that are connecting the knees to the knees. And obviously you don't want to do that. I don't know why they're missing out on that. My head joint as well, the ball peg going into the head is very loose. Like it feels like it's gonna fall off. It's not. It's one of those very, 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 very wobbly head joints, which is kind of a shame. I might need to pop it off at some point and goo some stuff in there and lob the head back on. And the shoulders, unsurprisingly, because they are very big, they do get in the way of articulation, which I don't think you could be too surprised about. They are very big. They do hinder articulation in the shoulders and in the forearms and whatnot, just because of how cumbersome they be. But generally, I think the figure, despite those issues, I think the figure is quite fun. He comes with quite a few hands. He has splayed open hands. He's got 2 sets of splayed open hands, 2 sets of holdy things hands, 2 closed fists, 2 closed fists, obviously. And then he's got 2. If you make your hand flat and then you kind of curve it backwards, almost like a Jace pose from the Ginyu Force, he's got 2 of those hands as well, which is interesting. He's also got 1 fuck you hand, flipping the bird as it is. And then he's got the set of the breastmaster, the little bull, which is quite cute. You have the fake chest for when it's on Kill Bison, and then you have the fake gun version. Obviously, as mentioned before, the Bison can become the chest piece. Looks a little bit ugly on the chest, but it can do that, and it can become a gun, but it's not as nice or as accurate. So the options are there. You can technically have him dual wielding 2 guns as well, which is nice. He also comes with, I guess, much like Drillhorn, the double-headed harpoon spear, whatever you want to call it. And you can, hopefully there'll be an image here. Oh, we've got some images. We've got an image of what the bison looks like on the chest. And, if you look between the 2 of them, you can tell that it's not as nice, obvious reasons, but, it's there. It's there to do it. I've experienced the giant leg part. I mean, if you wanted Kill Bison to become a leg on its own, obviously that's going to annoy you. But the leg part is really big and sturdy. It's got quite a few joints in there for like toe articulation, a few like joints to help the foot extend forward. The knee joint, the entire thigh has the Masterpiece Gundam thing of you bend the knee backwards, and the thigh goes back, and the thigh kind of splits open. Again, if you're into Masterpiece Gundam, you kind of know what I mean by that. But yeah, I think Kill Bison is fun. It's not too bad to pose, even with the limited bits here and there. I don't think they've got the image of his other accessory, which is a part of the combined super weapon for Lio Kaiser. But what you can do with that is you can take the head, or one of the heads off of the double-head spear. You can put that on and it becomes a giant hammer. And then you can put the spear bit on the back of the hammer. So it's got like a, it's the hammer on the front, and then it basically becomes what, a war hammer, I think they're called, where it's just a hammer and then a point at the back. And he also has a big multi-jointed stick, let's just call it that, which is again something for the combined mode weapon. Because he obviously had his big lance, which could then be span around Chinese weapon style, I think. So it's got that. Yeah, I'm enjoying him. I don't know how he compares to Drillhorn. I'm still waiting on my pre-order for the Drillhorn. I imagine Drillhorn... I'm hoping the Drillhorn's legs will be a little bit better, I'll be honest. I don't know if they will be or they won't be. I imagine he'll be a little easier to pose because Drillhorn, although he has a little bit cumbersome shoulders, they're not nearly as cumbersome as Kill Bison's. So I think he might be a little bit more fun, I'm hoping. I'm trying to see if there is an image of the hammer. He's on screen. There's the multi-purpose pole, I suppose you could call it. Is there an image of him holding the hammer, doing anything with the hammer? Did anybody take any images? No, they didn't. Did they? No, it doesn't look like they did. No, they didn't. Can I grab this image? Let's see if I can just pull up the image a bit bigger, so at least chat, who are watching live, can have a look at said hammer. Come on. You don't want to copy image. Okay. I'm going to copy the image. I'm going to paste it. If we can get it that way. Copy image address. Come on, let's go, boys. We've got this. All right. There we go. There you go. There's the hammer. That's the bit of the hammer. So there's the flat of the hammer. You can take off the little spiky part and add it to the bottom here, and it pegs around here as well. It also splits into a few parts for some reason, which again, I'm not quite sure about. I think that might have something to do with the giant combined weapon mode, but again, for what is effectively a... scroll up to the top because I can't remember the price. For a 27 pound figure, which is like £2 more, give or take, than standard deluxe size. The amount of plastic, I think, is reasonable. You get a legend scale figure, which is about, in today's price, is like £12, maybe more. And then you get the giant leg, and then you get a spare chest plate, another chest plate, I should say, and a little transforming dude, and a spear, multiple hands. I think the values, I can see the value. I don't feel I've been ripped off by it. There are definitely aspects to it I would like tweaked. let's say, in the design phase. But generally, I'm liking him. He's got bigger guns as well than whatever the other Kill Bison he's been photoed with by Toy Laboratory. I don't know who that one is, but he's got little weedy guns for his tank mode. My Kill Bison has big boy guns because he's a big, thick boy. Yeah, I'm happy I've got him. I'm hoping my pre-order comes in soon. And I also hope Jaruga gets released relatively quickly. I don't think we've had a date for Jaruga. They've updated him, so they've the images that we talked about last week. Yeah, release date unknown, but I can't imagine Jaruga will be too far off. I would hope. Other things I've done this week, nothing too crazy, I'm afraid. I did get Resident Evil. Which Resident Evil? I got Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I've started playing that on stream. I found it quite hard. I'm playing it on hardcore mode, so I've been struggling with the whole combat system. I don't think it's a bad combat system. I just think I'm bad at it. I think that's the problem. I think I'm bad at the combat system versus shut up video versus the combat system being bad. I think it's just me being bad at it. You can do a lot more things in the game, and there's a lot more things that the game doesn't tell you. For example, you can duck, which you couldn't do before, and if a basic enemy charges you with a grab, if you just duck, they won't be able to grab you. Obviously, the game doesn't tell you that. That's something you have to learn from YouTube. There's a parry system, which I'm sure people have seen with the knife, and you press, is it R1? R1? L1? No. R1. No, L1. You press L1 and you parry, right? Very good system. An issue that I found is if you are holding down the L trigger to aim your gun, you then cannot parry, which is something I've had to very slowly drill into my brain that I cannot actually hold my gun up and then parry willy-nilly. I have to be a bit more careful. If the enemy is close, I've got to drop my gun and parry. Yeah, I mean, you saw in the trailer there, he ducked someone throwing a spear at him. I've killed Delago, Big Fishman. So I know that I'm going to have a rough combat section coming up fairly soon, which is the famous house scene, which everybody knows. So I'm sure that will cause me some pain. Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I'm enjoying it so far, and I never played Resident Evil 3 because Resident Evil 3 Remake looked pretty fucking terrible, to be honest. And I didn't hear anybody say anything good about Resident Evil 3 Remake. I only heard, I think, one person say something good about it, and I was like, ooh, okay. Didn't sound great, though. I think I will get more used to this as it goes on, and I'll have a good time. Also, probably playing it first time on hardcore mode might not be the best idea, but, you know, it's a challenge, and challenges can sometimes be fun, right? That's what they say sometimes. And I also picked up, because it was like, buy 2 games, get a small percentage off. So I was like, well, all right. Yeah, it was the CD Keys sale. They had 14% off, so not a huge amount or anything like that, but a small amount. So I got Blasphemous 2. I got Blasphemous 1. I played Blasphemous 1. I enjoyed it. It is a Metroidvania Souls-like game with a weird, heavy, religious theming to it. I'm not sure kind of what religious theming it has, but it has a religious theming to it of some description. I kind of like the first one, though, as with most Souls games, you know, the story is somewhat incomprehensible. It felt very similar here with Blasphemous 1, and I'm sure Blasphemous 2 will also have a slightly incomprehensible story, which I'll need to find a YouTube video for to tell me what I just played, what I experienced, right? So that'll be, again, something I'll be playing on stream in the future. I don't know when. Have I watched anything? I have watched Ted, the TV series of Ted. Ted being the movie by Seth MacFarlane, where the Marky Mark gets a teddy bear, and it comes to life as a kid, and then they hang out together until he's 30. The TV series is set when the Marky Mark is a teenager, so it's not Marky Mark, it's a different person. It's quite fun. And, it's nothing like, wow, this is really highbrow comedy. It's really smart or intellectual or anything like that. It's just like silly, kind of basic humor, which is like, it scratches the dumb part of my brain. So I'm enjoying it well enough. But it's not anything crazy. The CG for Ted looks pretty good, I'd say, for a TV series. So at the very least, by that approach, I'm kind of impressed. 8 episodes. I think it's only 8 episodes. I don't know if it's ongoing in America at the moment, but I know the place that I'm watching it only has 8 at the moment. But it's like, yeah, Ted. It's quite fun. And I rewatched A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger, and it's fine. It's not a crazy good film. It's like it's cute. It's very much of its time. A peasant decides I'm gonna pretend to be a noble so I can find jousting tournaments and be the best, sports movie. And then there's a girl who he's trying to romance, and then there's an evil upperclassman who wants to take him down and be like, I don't need to beat you. I just need to prove that you're poor and you don't have a position here. That kind of stuff. It's very, very stereotypical stuff. But I think it's done well enough to be entertaining. It's like, it's fine. And the last thing I did was I got, finally, because it's been on my Amazon wish list for a long, long time, and I haven't watched it in years, which is a shame. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I really liked it when I originally saw it. I got it on Blu-ray. I'm rewatching it again. And unsurprisingly, it's still really good. It's still a really well done show. If I was going to have a criticism, I guess the comedy sometimes is a little heavy. Like sometimes there's times where you're like, you don't need to have the comedy in all the time. You could just let the emotions sit. It's not done badly or anything. It's just there's sometimes maybe a bit too much comedy moments just kind of pushed in there. But again, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I would, if you're into anime, I'd hope you've seen it. It's kind of one of the quintessential ones, and it's good. It still looks good, and it still has a good story. And I don't think it was ever rushed. And it's not like Naruto where it's like drawn out either. It's got a nice like pace to it for the most part. Yeah, and it's not got a fake ending. The first Full Metal Alchemist, where it's not Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I remember watching that originally, and I didn't like it. I thought it was crap. I was like, oh my god. Oh god. I hated the end. I thought it was terrible. The ending was awful. And then years and years later, the same friend who's like, oh, you'll like Full Metal Alchemist. I was like, ugh. He's like, oh, you like Brotherhood. I was like, ugh. And I think then a few more years later, past that point, another friend who I trusted more told me about Brotherhood, and I went, all right, guess I'll give it a go. Hey, The Chosen, welcome. So yeah, if you haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I definitely say give it a crack. It's a good watch. It is a classic. And I think that's it. I haven't really watched any other anime or any other fancy movies or anything like that. I have thankfully de-stressed from last week, and I'm not nearly as high-strung as I was, and I've not been just dying on the couch midday for like 4 hours, which is good. It's good. I'm not completely de-stressed. I won't be, I don't think, for a while, but I'm not at the point where I'm falling apart as a human being, zombie person, I don't think, for the most part. Anyway, I tell you what I need to do. I need to get back to the point where I can find the emails, because I don't know if people have been sending in emails to the Moonbase 2 account. I can't remember. I'll need to ask Mikey for the deets on where he got those ones. I don't think we have. If you have any questions for me, you can poop them into the comments here on YouTube or on Twitch or wherever you might be, and I can answer them now or in the future. And you can contact me through Twitter, obviously. Twitch. No, I've mentioned Twitch. Yeah, I guess we may as well wrap up the show, because I don't really have anywhere else to string along the conversation, because that's all the Transformers news, and I haven't really done anything else Transformers-wise. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Like I say, sorry it's been a short one. You can find us on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast, on patreon.com/Moonbase2. The Chosen says, I'm doing good, just playing Neverwinter right now. Oh, that's an oldie. I never got into Neverwinter. I think I picked the game up once and then took it back because I just couldn't get into it. Couldn't get into it. You can go to ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to go and find us that way as well. Patreon.com/Moonbase2 if you want to help out the show. It's much appreciated. Any little helps. The show that just keeps on chugging along. Is there anything else? ccbunker.weebly.com if I didn't mention that. That's also another place you can find us. Yep, I'll have to wrap it up there, peeps. Thank you very much for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you next week for more Moonpoop 2 action. I'd like to say I'd have some stuff coming in, but I'm not sure. Hang on.
Left.
I thought my audio was broken there. I don't think it is. God, I'm going to be so disappointed if I if I download the recording and I hear my voice is balked. I'm going to be very annoyed. Either way, thanks for coming on by, everybody. I'll see you next week for Moonbase 2 action if I don't see you throughout the week for streaming. Until then, catch you guys next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Yeah.